All right, so we're gonna review Kirby and the Forgotten Land. We finished this game maybe 3 weeks ago. Um, so we're gonna talk about this game, and we're gonna score it at the end. This game was my second Kirby game. I played Kirby on the Nintendo 64 a long time ago, and I believe this is supposed to be like the first time Kirby is in 3D, kind of like Mario Odyssey. Although Mario has many 3D platformer versions, but this is Kirby's. I believe is the first one. I think that aspect worked well. Let's get into the uh, the review of the game. So the gameplay, I would say overall is pretty smooth. It wasn't difficult to control Kirby. I think one aspect that was difficult, in particular, was the depth perception. Sometimes, since it was in 3D, I would not know where I was flying. I would miss the ledge and I would just fall because it was hard for me to perceive where some of the platforms were and whatnot. But other than that, it was pretty smooth. I would say it's pretty easy. I like the physics. Kirby wasn't too floaty nor too heavy. Um, I really liked the copy abilities. Uh, Even especially upgrading them, there was a lot of copy abilities. They were all varied, and some were better than others for certain aspects of different levels. And I really like the upgrading system where you can make it, you know, uh, you can make it evolve into the next ability. I think that was very fun, and the powers seemed, um, what do you say, balanced for the level they were at. So like a level 3 power was a lot better than like a level 2 power. It was really fun to like discover how the powers upgraded, and that made progression in the game pretty satisfying. Level design, I do like the levels. They're pretty big. They're pretty big. Um, they're pretty in depth. Like there's so much to see. There's so much to do. One thing I would say though is like you're meant to repeat the levels to get more Waddle Dee with added challenge. I didn't feel like they were worth repeating. Is the only thing. Like it wasn't fun to go back and kind of 100% them. Like once I had done a level, it wasn't super appealing to go back and explore it again. So in that aspect, the levels were fun, but not fun enough to go over and over again. Um, One thing I will say is the challenges, where the star challenges, where you get the stars to upgrade the weapons, that was not so fun. They were hit or miss. There's some of them that were very fun. There's some of them that were pretty bland. So that one I'm kind of mixed opinion on. The boss fights, I would say too easy, way too easy. Most of them I beat in the first try, or the first 3 tries, and it wasn't very difficult. There were a few that were pretty fun. I think the rat guy, with the robotic rat guy was pretty awesome. He was pretty fun, and the final boss, that was pretty fun too. I think I lean towards liking more difficult games. So, um, you know, I think the more difficult bosses were more my speed. And the gameplay, I would say, it was just too easy overall. Not punishing. Like if you die, then like you're just reborn and you can just keep going. So it wasn't very difficult at all. So let's say gameplay, because it was too easy and it felt kind of, I mean, the only saving grace was that the levels were super in depth and it was very fun to upgrade the powers. Gameplay, let's do 6 out of 10. I thought mouthful mode was fun. It was a way to introduce variety in the game where it's just not you running through these games with powers and hitting enemies. Some of them were gimmicky. I did enjoy some of them, like the plane one was cool. The car thing was pretty cool, but I don't know. Sometimes when I was a vending machine, I was like, why am I a vending machine right now? It's cute, But like after the first time, after the shock factor was gone, it was like, what am I doing here? It brought a little variety, but I felt like the challenges with the mouthful mode weren't challenging enough. So, um, yeah. The light bulb was actually fun. The light bulb was actually really fun because it included an aspect of like sneak where you had to be kind of inconspicuous. So that one was actually one of my more favorite ones. Visuals and art style. Let's see. I think it was beautiful. The game was super stylistic. It was cute. Um, the world was in depth. There's so much interactable things. So I liked the visual and art style. Animation quality. There's nothing wrong with it. Everything was pretty tight. All the powers looked super vibrant and unique. Um, the mouthful mode was very creative. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it was utilized to the best of its ability, but I thought it was creative and everything looked very interesting. I also like that typically I think Kirby is way too rainbow and sunshine and butterflies, but I think because this Kirby was set in like a post-apocalyptic setting, it worked better because it brought a little bit of contrast. Like there was all everything's bubbly. His powers are all bubbly. He's very bubbly and cute, and all the enemies are super cute. But then the fact that there's like levels where it's like you're literally look like you're in hell, or like a ruined city. It was interesting. It was unique, and I think that it complemented more than hurt the visual design of the game. So I did like the art style. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Let's see, for visuals and gameplay. Honestly, I'm at an 8 out of 10. I'm at 8 out of 10. That's pretty good. Sound and music. This one's hard because I feel like it didn't annoy me. It didn't ever feel like I was like disappointed in the music, but also like not very memorable tracks.
You're actually so
Like when
right.
I'm playing Elden Ring, like I'm like, oh my god, this is a banger right now. Like this is so freaking epic. I think it was well done, just bland. I do remember a few moments. I remember that the theme song was pretty fun, but also that's because they played basically a freaking music video for the intro, right? When the game began. I think some of the more exciting tracks was in the finale. I think the finale was basically like
Bro,
it was
you
like
get
watching
nothing.
anime, and I think the music did get very interesting there. But other than that, I don't remember too much of the music, so not particularly impressed. I think sound effects were cool. There was nothing like super cool about sound effects, but nothing obtrusive. I think it was just well done. The sound effects, music was kind of forgettable. I would say music. Let's do. I want to get 5 out of 10 for music. Side content I didn't really do, so I'm not gonna talk about that. Let's say length. I think the main story length was a little short. Uh, like and pacing. I think it was. Let's put it this way. I thought it was kind of short, but it was relieving because the game was kind of boring. If I'm being honest, if it was more challenging, I think I would have wanted a longer game. And when I got to the end, I was like, oh, that's it. But also, I was also kind of like, oh, thank God I finished it because I don't wanna do this anymore because the gameplay just wasn't super challenging. So I know there's a lot of post game content. And I think the game did get more fun towards like the last world. Like in the last world, I would say I started to have fun, and then the game was over, and I was like, oh well, okay. Thank God it's over because like 70% of that was like not challenging enough or in depth enough for me to want to do more. So the pacing was off because it was like a walk in the park, and then finally the game in the last world was like, okay, this is getting fun because like it's actually challenging. Like I don't know if I'm gonna make it out of here with like 1 or 2 lives, and like the puzzles were harder, and then it was over. So uh, I'm strictly talking main game. I think the pacing was kind of off. I think it was a little short. Slash, the difficulty made it feel like it was short, but also too long at the same time. It was weird. Um, I'm sure the post game is gonna be more fun because the last world was fun to me. So I'm sure the post game is even harder. So I'm sure the post game is what I would have actually enjoyed. I would say I don't really go for post game unless the main game is super fun. So for this one, I chose not to do post game. So I'm strictly talking about main game right now, and I would say main game length and pacing. Honestly, I would give it like a 4 out of 10. And that is, as you can tell, I wasn't super fond of this game. Okay, I think that's pretty much every category. We had gameplay, visuals, sounds, and the length of the game. Let's see what our score is. I'm just gonna average everything, and we're gonna see what's the score. Damn. Okay, so our average was 5.75 if you do all the categories. 3 out of 10 overall for you. Damn. You You're harsher than me. I gave it, I guess after averaging everything, I got 5.75. So we'll call it a 6 out of 10. We'll call my rating for Kirby and the Forgotten Land is 6 out of 10. Um, Enjoyable for a quick play, yeah. Super wasn't my favorite, definitely not. It was like having a dessert that's too sweet, you know. It was like it's cool, but I'm not particularly in love with it. What I will say though, as a streamer, it was fun to get clips from it because a lot of sucking jokes, very over the top, cute moments. So for shorts, it was good. I don't think, as Heather is speaking in the chat right now, I don't think my chat particularly enjoyed it. But I think for shorts, it was fun to like clip form, and the shorts don't do bad. So there was that positive aspect. But yeah, 6 out of 10 is the final score. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace, guys.